This is Lagoon Radio.
Are you looking for top-notch printing services that deliver quality and reliability every time? Look no further. The Lagos Diocesan Printing Press is here to serve you. At the Lagos Diocesan Printing Press, we specialize in bringing your ideas to life with precision and excellence. Whether you need business cards, brochures, flyers, or banners, we've got you covered. Our state-of-the-art printing technology ensures vibrant colors, clear text, and professional finishing that will make your brand stand out from the crowd. But that's not all. We pride ourselves on exceptional customer service, fast turnaround times, and competitive pricing to fit any budget. So why wait? Visit the Lagos Diocesan Printing Press today at 17 Broad Street, Lagos Anglican Seminary, and let us help you make a lasting impression. You can also give us a call on 0703 559 7826 or 0816 398 2570. Lagos Diocesan Printing Press, where your vision becomes reality.
Hello everyone, I am the Right Reverend Ifedola Senasu Gabriel Okupevi, Bishop of Lagos. You are listening to Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. God bless you as you keep on listening to us. God bless Nigeria. God will keep Nigeria. Lagoon of blessings will be upon you. Keep on listening. Keep on smiling, and peace will reign in your domain. In Jesus' name.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Hi, good evening from this part of Lagos, and welcome to our program. Hello, Doctor. We apologize. We apologize for not being here last week. It was due to some reasons. So we are back. I know you missed us, so we miss you too. So my name is Olasimbo Anjorin. I'm your pharmacist. We're taking you on a very important topic today on Lagoon Radio, caring for internal organs of the body. Okay, it's quite broad, but I'll try as much as I can to compact it and break it down in a way that is very easy for you to understand. You know, a lot of times we find it difficult to understand why it's more prevalent these days to be having issues with internal organs like kidney, liver, and all that. So I'll just give you some basic knowledge on the reasons why people are coming down with those things and how to prevent some of this. So as a form of introduction, organ failure is a medical menace and unfortunately is on the increase. There is need for basic knowledge and wisdom on the risk factors and measure on how to take care of the internal organs. Some people don't actually understand what exposes people or what increases the chances of having issues with their internal organs, okay? And some people might be asking that, how do I prevent them? Because some people will say that even young people now are having it. So we'll just discuss it on a bit. You can ask your question if you're joining us through our online platforms. You can send in your questions. We reply your questions. And this is always on live, so you can always go back and view and put your question in the comment section. Even if it's a previous topic that you have a question about, just drop the question. We'll attend to them. So back to our topic. When we're talking about internal organs, we're talking about those organs that you cannot see with your eyes. Okay, you know, the brain, the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, and the gastrointestinal tract. I'm talking about the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, esophagus, and the rest of them. You know, most times when we kill animals, we can easily identify some of these things. In fact, some people prefer inwero in their food. So those are examples of internal organs, and managing them can be very expensive medically. So it's always good to prevent anything that can damage them or that can injure them, instead of now coming down and start looking for money to take care of yourself. So let me just start by just listing some of the risk factors. Risk factor means those things that can increase the chances of somebody having issues with their internal organs. So the first thing is poor diet. Yeah. Basically, poor diet can affect almost all the organs in the body. Let me not say almost all the organs. It can affect the body on its own, or everything about the body. For example, if let me start with the heart. If somebody is trying to protect his or her heart, he definitely need not to take food that have too much of cholesterol content, or even salt content has to be managed, because some people don't understand that even excessive salt can lead to some form of issue with the heart. Even with the stomach also, you need to understand that there are some food you don't take in your stomach. Even if you are going to take it, you know that they can actually have impacts on the anatomy of your stomach. Let me give an instance. If somebody is taking a lot of let me say vegetables, for example, you're taking excessive vegetable, and I mean vegetables itself. In Yoruba, we call some of them shoko and the likes of them. So if you're taking excessive of it, some can actually lead to diarrhea. It's actually not it's not life threatening, because it's just a way of some of these vegetables don't digest properly. So when you take them, they don't digest. So they try to move out of the system as fast as they can. So it can actually lead to diarrhea. I'm just trying to give an example of how diet can affect some of these organs. Even the liver. There are things that some people eat that overstress the liver. I will still go through all that. I'm just trying to give you an insight of what we to expect and a discussion for today. Then another risk factor is an unhealthy lifestyle. What I mean by lifestyle is that some people don't, the way you live your life, okay, that's meaning of lifestyle. In the way you live your life, how you move, how you walk, how you sleep, how you rest is part of your lifestyle. Because some people don't even find time to even exercise. Ordinarily, to even check down their streets is a problem. They rather take bike to their junction. For those people that don't have cars, and for those that have cars, they are moving out of their sitting room straight to their car, from their car to their office, from their office back to their car. Even if they are going to church, that is not even far, they still drive. Sometimes you need to exercise. Some people don't do that, and it's actually a kind of unhealthy lifestyle. And some people don't even find time to rest. They don't sleep. They don't take break. Every time is work. Scientists and medical practitioners say that at least a man or a human being should be sleeping for about 8 hours daily inside the 24 hours. So let's assume that you are so busy, especially with people that stay in Lagos. Before you get home, it's late. Before you try to prepare yourself for the next day, before you get your dinner and stuff like that, you have spent a lot of time doing that, and you have to still wake up early. You have to wake early to go to work. So let's assume you are so busy, at least 6 to 7 hours is okay. But some people, that is the time they will remember that they need to download. Maybe they have access to free Wi-Fi. Thank God there's no extra cool again. It's that time some people want to make calls and want to do stuff, and at the end of the day, just sleep for like 3 to 4 hours. You are actually stressing your internal organs. For example, the brain. The brain needs rest to regenerate, and some other organs in the body too. But if you are not resting properly, it can actually affect the way the brain works. For example, you can wake up in the morning and you're already feeling tired, you're already feeling stressed. Your brain cannot focus, cannot function properly. You cannot focus, you cannot calculate. Any little stress, you're already having a headache. Is as a result of unhealthy lifestyle. And another risk factor is age. You don't expect your internal organs to be let me assume you're 50. You don't expect it to still be functioning as when you were 20, because as you're advancing in age, so are your organs advancing. So as you are aging, you know that you are getting you're getting older, and your organs too are getting older. So you are more prone to some of the issues that affect the organ. I'm not saying it doesn't affect children. I'm not saying it doesn't affect the youth. And before I go on, I just want to celebrate all the youths all around the world. Today is a day set aside to celebrate the youth. So just as a way of appreciating your efforts and in bringing new development and everything, and also trying to make your community a better place. I am a youth also, so I'm sending love to all the youth out there. We love you, and I pray that whatever you're doing, you keep prospering. Legal things you're doing, we continue to prosper. So back to the topic. age, you don't expect your heart to still function like when you were 20. Definitely, even if you are going to run with, you are 50 and want to run with somebody of 20 years that this is LD, you will definitely know that you are going to lose the race. That shows that you are aging and your organs too are aging. So as you're getting older, you are having this open way, should I say, there's an increased risk of you having some of these internal organs. So another risk factor here is family medical history. You know, I always say this whenever I'm discussing almost all ailments. I don't know. I think it's because of the genetic composition. So there are some things that can happen or that can be more like a generational stuff. It can happen in a lineage. Okay, you can see the pattern in parents. You can see the pattern in children, and even up to grandchildren. Some extended family also. For example, issues that have to do with the heart, that has to do with the kidney, even with the brain, some kind of I won't call it psychosis, but some kind of mental issues, maybe like depression, bipolar disorders, and all that. It can actually move in the lineage. Okay, so medical history can actually increase a person's chances of having some organ failure. If you notice that this person is having this in my family, this person is having this in my family, it's showing that you also might having increased chance of having that issue. The next one here is medications and exposure to toxic substance. Yeah, some drugs can damage internal organs, okay, when used excessively. I always say this word, all drugs are poisonous. All drugs are poisonous, including that vitamin C you have turned to sweet. You have turned it to candy. They are poisonous if not used properly. If you take it in a way that is not prescribed, what I mean by that is maybe you misuse it or you abuse it. It can actually become a poison to your organs. For example, if you're taking excessive medication, let's give an instance, maybe antibiotics, they ask you to take for 7 days, then you now double the dose and you use for 21 days or use for 28 days. You're actually increasing the workload of your liver. Okay, so but I will get to that point when I start talking about liver, and also exposure to toxic substances, maybe because of the nature of your job. For example, those people that work in cement manufacturing industry that are exposed to a lot of harmful dust. Let me use that word. Harmful dust in form of particles. So they can actually go into the nostril, from there to the respiratory tract. From there, they can cause infection to the lungs, or even move to the blood and cause some kind of issue with the blood. There are some that are actually carcinogenic. What I mean by that, they can cause cancer. Some of these things that goes through the nose, and some people even work with some factories that use harmful chemicals. Some of these chemicals, they emit gas, in form of vapor, and also you can actually inhale those things, and it starts harming the internal organs. That is why some company, they usually have this protective gears they use for their staff, the nose mask, the headgear, the overall, and all that. It's not for fancy. Some people think it's for fancy, though it can actually look good on you and all, but not for fancy. They probably know the hazard you are being exposed to. That's why they are giving you those things to use to protect you and your internal organs from all those things. Even there are some companies that pay what we call hazard allowance. Okay, they know that some of the things you are being exposed to are hazardous, so they pay you allowance. But prevention is better than cure. That if it happens, that hazard allowance cannot take care of the problem. So they know. That's why they give you those things to at least reduce the chances of you having those issues. So I always advise people, if you're working in places like that, try to use whatever protective gear they've given to you. Use them. They are not for fancy. They are not overstretching you. They are just trying to protect you from a lot of issue. Then we have a lot of risk factor, but I will just stop here so I can move into the organs quickly. Underlying medical issues. Yes, there's a lot of people that have issues that can worsen into becoming something that can damage their organs. For example, there's a process of how do I put it, problem in the liver. Okay, what we call liver failure does not just start immediately. It starts from a stage, from one stage to another, from another stage, just that, until it gets to liver failure, where it can become fatal if not properly manage. Same thing with all these cancer issues and all that. They don't just start. They start from a kind of underlying issue. Probably the person who has been exposed to a lot of stuff. Like I mentioned, sometimes people inhale things that are not good for their respiratory tract. So they might actually be taking in all those things, and it might be giving a little of a maybe respiratory tract infection. Let's give an example like that. You can start with respiratory tract infection. So that one's an underlying medical issues. If not properly managed, it can damage the lungs. Also, issue of hepatitis. I will still go to that hepatitis fully. It can actually worsen into liver failure. When I get to the part of where we're talking about liver, I will break it down more. So, having discussed the risk factor, I want to go straight to those organs. Okay, I think I should start from the top to the bottom. That's from head to toe. So I'll just pick the organs that way. So I'll start with the brain. The brain is like the central processing unit of the body. Those people that are computer literate, you understand what I'm saying. The brain is just like the way the car is. They call one part of the car the brain boss. If somebody wants to burgle a car or want to steal something from a car, the first thing they go for is the brain boss, because they know that is actually the car. If you can remove the car, you can remove the brain boss from the car, you have taken the car. They don't care if they are going to sell it a very little amount, but they know that with that, your car cannot function. No matter how big your car is, no matter how lovely your car is. So that is how the brain is on the body. The brain actually controls everything about the body, both the voluntary activities like you moving around, you picking up your spoon, you dancing, you and all that. The brain helps in controlling that, and the involuntary stuff that happen in the body, like how your heart pumps, how your kidney filters, how your stomach taking food, how your stomach emits acid. That is why you see that you cannot control some of those things. It's your brain that controls them. So the brain is actually made of about, I think, 60% fat, and the rest is water, protein, and all that. So it's actually a very vital organ, and not managing it properly can give a lot of issues. Since I said the brain is responsible for all the activities, that means if your brain is not functioning properly, well, it can actually lead to mental issues, It can even lead to lack of concentration. It can lead to lack of coordination and all. So now, coming down a bit, let me talk about the heart. The heart, basically, in simple term, is the pumping machine of the body, because it's actually responsible for blood circulation. That is where you have the engine that pumps. Let me use that word, the engine. The heart is the engine that pumps the blood around the body, and it should never stop working. The day it stops working, then that's the problem. Okay, the heart is always working so as to pump blood around the body. And some of us know the blood is actually responsible for passing oxygen and also nutrient to all parts of the body. They pick up the oxygen. The blood that comes from the lungs has oxygenated blood, so it goes into the heart. The heart pumps that oxygenated blood around the body. This same heart also receive the oxygenated blood and also pumps it back to where, that's the lungs, back to where it will go. It will be processed back to releasing of carbon dioxide and another intake of oxygenated blood. So it's a complex situation, but I won't waste time on that. So major heart issues includes hypertension, what we call high blood pressure. So I think I've discussed it on this platform before. This is when there is excessive pressure of the blood against the arterial walls. Okay, the speed at which the blood is moving is higher than normal. So that's hypertension. Then there's another issue with the heart that can happen. The arrhythmia is actually irregular beats or irregular pumping of the blood. That's irregular heart rate. Now there's this sound we hear when we place our head on this part or we use our stethoscope. This sound that goes boom, 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 boom. That is actually the pumping, and that's actually how the heart pumps. It's the sound of the contraction and the relaxation of the heart. So we call it pulse rate. The number of times that happens in a minute is actually the pulse rate. So when there's now an issue with the pulse rate, when it's not now regular, like it's not going properly, it's not regular, as we say, the person is having arrhythmia. So there are different types of, I won't go deep in that. Then there's angina. Angina happens when there is very low supply of oxygen to the heart. Mind you, the heart is actually a muscle. Some of us that have, been in abattoir and see how they kill animals. That is, if you have never seen it in a movie, this is an animal. They see the heart the way heart is. The heart is just like a muscle. It's meat. It's meat. Let me use that word so it will be easier, because even the muscles are actually meat. So it's meat. So it takes its own oxygen too. It needs its own oxygen. Even the heart too has its own circulatory system. It has its own arteries and the veins and all that. So it's an organ. Apart from it pumping blood around the body, it also takes in oxygen and all that. So angina is when there's not enough supply of oxygen to heat. So it can actually result in having sharp pain. Most times it goes on its own, and in some cases we just use 1 or 2 medications to control it. Then when some of these things are not properly managed, that I mean some of these heart issues are not properly managed, it can lead to heart failure. That's what they call cardiac arrest. It can lead to heart failure. So that is why I mentioned earlier that there are some kind of steps that these things can generate to. If you are still having issue of high blood pressure, that's hypertension or arrhythmia, and you are not working on it, it can degenerate into heart failure, which can be fatal. In fact, most times it leads to death. Sometimes those things can even lead to stroke and all. So symptoms of heart issues can include chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, poor blood supply to the extremities. Extremities here means the hands and the legs. I'm talking about the palms and the soles. So, and complications comes, well, like I mentioned, it comes when you don't manage heart issues properly. Heart failure can happen, and if it doesn't even get to heart failure, issues like blurry vision, it affects the vision when there's excessive high blood pressure. It can even cause kidney failure. It can cause brain damage. It can cause stroke and all. So it's very important that the health of the heart is probably properly looked into. Coming down a bit, I want to talk about the stomach and the GIT. Okay, let me just pack it together. GIT, that's the gastrointestinal tract. It consists of the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, the rectum. Okay, it just, in other words, in animals they call it alimentary canal. Is actually where the food passes through from the mouth down to the anus. Okay, so it actually has a lot of microbial organisms. We call them microbiomes. They're actually there to help in digesting food and also helping us to take out the nutrient from the food into the blood. It's another process. Most times that happens in the small intestine, because after the acid in the stomach breaks down the food, the nutrients are being absorbed in the small intestine. So those ones that are more like that are not really absorbed, or like the particles that are remaining, let me use that word particles, the waste that are remaining, they now move to the large intestine. There are still some kind of little absorption that can happen from there. But after the large intestine, they just, they go through the rectum and that's it. So there are some other microorganisms in the GIT that can cause issue. It's very important now that we should now look into those things, because that is where there is stomach infection, there is issue of like I mentioned, cholera can be gotten from ingested some weeks ago. So that's where the problem starts coming in. When you start ingesting things that are not clean, they cannot make it worse. Those microbes now start reacting and start misbehaving. That is when people start having issues like diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome. And that's not even the only thing that can happen in the stomach. Also, too can happen in the stomach. What's it called? Constipation, not be able to pass stool properly, can happen. And these things can happen based on what you ingest, especially food and drinks. I would have wanted to talk about also a bit, but because of time. Okay, let me just say a bit about it. There are different types of ulcer. There's one that happens at the stomach itself, that's the gastric ulcer. There's the duodenal ulcer, So the gastric ulcer is actually more like, most times, it's not the only reason, most times excessive production of acid that cannot cause scarring on the lining of the stomach. Have you eaten shaki before? Shaki is yes, that's how the stomach look like. So we call it towe. Towe, you want to describe for somebody, that towe part, So that is basically how it looks like. So when it starts scaring, like peeling, the person start having pains. That is where you can be saying, oh, this person might be having issue with ulcer. And sometimes it might not come immediately. It takes time before it grows. So it's very important that you take care of it. I'll give an instance. For example, if you're taking excessive use of painkillers like NSAID, diclofenac, pyroxicam, and the likes, it can actually, there's a process, it has to do with the prostaglandin, but I want to use big terms here. But there's a process that will occur that can actually make it worse. That is somebody already having that issue of ulcer. It can make it worse. Even recently, alcohol has been shown to, because sometimes some of the alcohol people take are not even good. They are industrially, I don't know how to use the word, but they are not pure alcohol. They are those ones that are manufactured in a very fake industry. So the stomach is actually very important, because if the stomach is having a lot of issue, then you'll not be able to eat. You'll not be able to take drugs. So it's a serious problem. Then before I will go to the next one, I want us to take a break. And before we do that, I would just want to do a kind of review of what we've spoken already. We'll be talking about how to care for your internal organs. We've spoken about the risk factor, that poor diet, healthy lifestyle, age, family medical history, drugs, and toxic substance can lead to organ damage. Then we've spoken about the heart. We've discussed how the heart can actually have issues if not properly managed, and the kind of issues that can come from there, even the stomach. So I want us to take a break, and we'll be back shortly after the break.
This is Lagoon Radio.
My people, your Owonge show don land for your correct radio station, Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio, powered by the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. Join me, your personal person, Owonge Sandito, every Saturday from 3 p.m. reach 4 p.m. We go dey talk about different things where they sell for our society, for family, now for every matter we go dey chook our mouth dey yarn una. Join us for www.lagoonradio.ng. make una follow us for social media, Lagoon Radio Nigeria. That one na for Facebook, Lagoon Radio NG, Instagram and Twitter. Watch us for YouTube at Lagoon TV. Make we dey totori una dey go.
Bible talk am for Obadiah 1 verse 17 say na who fit run go Mount Zion go free, and na him go holy, and all Jacob pikin go fit collect their plenty better property. Baba God fit do anything wey him want, and na him ready to comot all the plenty yamayama wahala wey dey do you if you put mind for him matter. All of us wey dey for Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion don join body tell you make you show for this new level wey we wan start. Dem dey call am Diocesan breaking of fetters, and we know say Baba God go help person wey need help. He go comot yamayama for plenty people body, and him go make all of una life better. Now every third Tuesday this one go dey happen for also Church Lekki, wey dey for number 15 Kayode Animashaun Street, wey dey for Admiralty Way side for inside Lekki phase 1. E go start for 11 o'clock for morning time. Anybody wey call Baba God name, na him go see help and things go dey okay for am. Oya run come collect brekete blessing and miracle o. Na Right Reverend Olasimbo Gabriel Okukpevi, the oga patapata for Lagos Diocese Anglican Communion, na he carry this story come.
This is Lagoon Radio. This is Lagoon Radio.
Are you looking for top-notch printing services that deliver quality and reliability every time? Look no further. The Lagos Diocesan Printing Press is here to serve you. At the Lagos Diocesan Printing Press, we specialize in bringing your ideas to life with precision and excellence. Whether you need business cards, brochures, flyers, or banners, we've got you covered. Our state-of-the-art printing technology ensures vibrant colors, clear text, and professional finishing that will make your brand stand out from the crowd. But that's not all. We pride ourselves ourselves on exceptional customer service, fast turnaround times, and competitive pricing to fit any budget. So why wait? Visit the Lagos Diocesan Printing Press today at 17 Broad Street, Lagos Anglican Seminary, and let us help you make a lasting impression. You can also give us a call on 0703 559 7826 or 0816 398 2570. Lagos Diocesan Printing Press, where your vision becomes reality.
Hello, everyone. I am the Right Reverend Ifedola Senasu Gabriel Okupevi, Bishop of Lagos. You are listening to Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria, and the official radio of the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. God bless you as you keep on listening to us. God bless Nigeria. God will keep Nigeria. Lagoon of blessings will be upon you. Keep on listening. Keep on smiling. And peace will reign in your domain. In Jesus' name.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Yeah, we are back, and we're still here discussing caring for the internal organs. But that song that I just played was the title of the song is "Etito Bito" by Ima Oh My God, featuring Balumi Deborah and BBO. Actually, a very nice song, especially if you're Yoruba. You know, something that you can wake up with, you can sleep with. It's just about talking about the greatness of God, His existence, and how He has been coming through, and He's always faithful to His word. So it's actually a very nice song. I heard it before coming into the studio, and I had to play like 3 times. So I said, okay, let's try it again in the studio. It's very love this song. Okay, so back to our topic, caring for internal organs. We've talked about the heart, we talked about the gastrointestinal tract. Now let's talk about the liver. Okay, that happens to be the largest organ of the body, and just like some other organ, very, very, very crucial. Very, very important. And you have just one. And let me say this. The liver is actually the toxin extractor of the body. What does that mean? It means the liver is responsible for taking out poisons. Let me use that. Poisons or things that are harmful to the body. The liver is actually responsible for taking out of the system, out of the body system, takes it out of the blood. So you can see how important it is. If the liver is not functioning properly, there will be a lot of toxic substances and poisons flowing around in the blood. And since the blood goes all around the body, there's no part of your body that doesn't have blood or that doesn't take in blood. So imagine infected blood or toxic infected blood going around your body can actually damage a lot of things. Okay, so 7.9% of admissions in the hospitals and medical institutions are actually due to liver issue. Okay, so, and too many toxins, like I mentioned, I said it, liver is actually the toxin, but too many toxins in the body can overwhelm the liver. It's not even machine can get tired when it's overworked. So let's just look at it that way. If you overwork your machines, they can actually get damaged. Okay, and the liver has this property that most of the organs do have. The liver can regenerate itself. What I mean by that is it can repair itself if there's any damage. However, if you don't give it time to breathe, let me use that word. Can you give it time to breathe? There will be a problem. You need to give it time to relax, give it time to breathe, and so the liver can regenerate. But if you are overwhelming it by taking a lot of toxic stuff, a lot of rubbish, a lot of nonsense, you damage the liver. So it's always important that there should be at times a period where okay, for now, I don't want to take this drink, I don't want to take this food. It can actually overwork my liver. Let me just take this, let me just take water, let me just take vegetables or healthy fruits, okay? So it's very important that we know that the liver can be overworked. And we have just one liver. So imagine if you damage the liver, It's very easy to get transplant. Nobody's going to give you liver, except maybe they see somebody that is dying and the family are ready to donate his or her liver for the person that needs it. Okay, so there are stages in chronic liver disease. There are some diseases that are called chronic. There are some acute ones that can just happen in a way of the body trying to readjust to the injury. That one is acute. It can just go back, can be temporary, it can be temporary disease, but there are some that are chronic, that are not temporary, that they can degenerate into something bad. So there are stages of chronic liver disease. The first stage is hepatitis. At this point, it's just the liver being inflamed in response to toxic stuff being too much in it. It inflames and try to repair. So if the person gives it time, definitely you will get out of that hepatitis. You will get out of it. We had different types, B, A, B, C, and all the like. So it gets out of it. But if not properly managed, it can degenerate into fibrosis. At this level of fibrosis, the body will cause scarring, more like small injury or solidification on some parts of the liver. Okay, it's just as if that part is just like if you have an injury on your skin. So it will be having this kind of scarring on the skin, thickness in some part of the liver. So that is fibrosis. Fibrosis can still be managed also properly if the person know early enough, and it can get better. But if not properly managed, it now gets to something that is worse. That is cirrhosis. That one, the scarring now is now being profound. At this point, in fact, the person will be having a lot of symptoms, a lot of how will I put it, irregularities in their body. They will know that something is wrong with them. They will be exhibiting a lot of symptoms of chronic liver disease, a lot of symptoms. And if at that point is not still managed properly, it gets to liver failure. The liver will fail. And if the liver fails, most times it's fatal. If there's nobody, in fact, most times, even this liver failure to your stage. So most times when it happens like that, there can be a miracle. I believe in miracles. But if there is no miracle and there is nobody that they can see to donate liver to the person, maybe a dying person. Like I said, everybody has one liver. So you cannot say you want to share your liver. Just one. You see that the person is dying or the person is ready to die for the person, which is actually rare. Okay. So at that point, if there's nobody to donate a liver, that means the person is gone. That person has gone. Okay, except if there's a miracle. So you see the reason why you need to really protect some of these organs. You don't allow it pass from one stage to another. There are a lot of people that have died from it, and most times they are probably they didn't know early, or maybe they knew and they didn't have enough resources or enough knowledge to manage these things. So some of the symptoms that we notice in people that have chronic liver failure in some of the stages that I mentioned, 4 stages that I mentioned, jaundice, dark colored urine, smelly breath, weight and muscle loss. So sometimes if you see somebody that have bad breath, it might not be just hygiene problem. It might not be that the person is not hygienic, like the person is not brushing or is not bathing. It might be as a result of issue with the liver. It might be as a result of issue. So if you're seeing somebody with smelly breath, you just ask them, okay, why don't you check yourself? You're having colored urine. There was a time I discussed it here. I actually have a platform where I discuss some other topics. So I did discuss how the color of your urine can determine the health of your organs. Okay, so when you are seeing somebody that is peeing colored urine, deep colored urine, maybe like from brown to very deep yellow, there's a problem. Try to check what the problem is. Might just be some little measures or maybe a more severe disorder, but it's always better to check. So let me go to the last organ that I have here. That's a kidney. Okay. Generally, we have 2 kidneys. Okay. And it has been shown that 17 million Nigerians have various stages of chronic kidney disease. 17 million. That means it's actually a high percentage. And inside the 70 million, 35.8% of them are actually elderly people. And we can understand why, because I talked about age being a risk factor. As you grow older, your organs are growing with you. So it's normal for we to have more of this in the air. But doesn't mean it doesn't happen in children. It happens in children. I think we see cases where they'll be needing kidney for some children. They ask for donations online and all that. It happens in children. Some might be autoimmune. What I mean by autoimmune, that maybe it's just their body trying to fight against itself. And some are actually due to some other ailments. I mentioned the underlying illnesses that can lead to organ failure. So some of it, diabetes. Diabetes can cause kidney disease, can cause kidney disease. Hypertension, that's high blood pressure, can cause it. Then the glomerulonephritis can cause it. Okay, the process, let me break down that. The process at which we use to check the health status of the kidney, we call it a glomerular filtration rate. There are some particles, let me use that word, in the kidney. We call it glomeruli. Kidney that is just like but they are being overworked. They start having a top part of the disease, and if not properly managed, can lead to people that have that. They are like very, so they work both in hands. They work together. So it's very of the change in color of urine. That is showing sign that okay, the kidney is probably not working the way it should. Then the person will be having muscle cramps. What we call pajapa. Try and check. Just want to run through. Always take fluid, and fluid there you don't start. So except part of water. Water is very good. It helps the blood sieving. I don't know. Some of us must have seen where they are sieving ogi. Me and me ghetto guys, so we saw this things on the streets. When they are sieving ogi, the color will be deep. Eat appropriately. Don't just eat anything. Don't because of a schedule. At least 6 to 7 hours. Rest. If you cannot sleep at night, try to find time to sleep in the day. Take a nap in the day. An hour, 2 hours. It's important to sleep because it helps the brain cell to relax and to regenerate itself. Then exercise. Exercise is good for the heart. It's good for other parts of the body. It's serotonin, dopamine. That's how the liver helps in taking out poison. Those ones they do not we want you to come down with heart attack and other. Also, it affects the kidney. This thing. Let me use the point. You might not use any medication. Power to regenerate itself. There's a problem because by the time I want to stop, because start me on Facebook. My name is on Facebook is Olasimbo Anjorin. Olasimbo Anjorin, Anjorin. And I'm on Instagram as Olasimbo.Anjorin. So you can also reach me on my WhatsApp line 0054781415. So it's been an exciting time talking to you here. And you can also contact us on 08189524666 on Lagoon Radio, and we're also on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria on Facebook, and Twitter and Instagram. We are on as LAGOONRADIO.NG, and on YouTube we are on YouTube as Lagoon TV. So feel free to reach us, drop your questions. We always attend to them. It's been an exciting internet, learn some things, and try to help yourself. Just keep.
My people, your Owonge show don land for your correct radio station, Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio, powered by the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. Join me, your personal person, Owonge Sandito, every Saturday from 3 p.m. reach 4 p.m. We go, they talk about different things where they sell for our society, for family, not for